Talk to me. WSRadio.com.
The San Diego Council on Literacy brings you Literacy for All with your host, Jose Cruz.
Welcome to the show. I'm Jose Cruz from the San Diego Council on Literacy. You're listening to the Literacy for All radio show on WS Radio. And our guest today, actually, this is the third time we're having traveling stories on the radio show. And we love having them because they're fun and always doing something new. With us, calling in, are Emily Moberley. She's the founder and CEO of Traveling Stories. Welcome to the show, Emily.
Thank you, Jose. It's so great to be here. We love Literacy for All.
Can you hear that enthusiasm? That's why we love you, Emily, and your program. And then just making sure that Jake Lory is on. Are you on, Jake?
I am here. How's it going?
Doing very good. Now, Jake, remind me of your title. Are you the, let me see, I think I got this right. You're the coordinator of the Compassionate Leadership Program, and you also are...
And the StoryTent.
And the StoryTent Coordinator. Got it, man. That's a long title. And so you're an important guy. Emily's an important person. Before we get into...
Jose is an important person.
Thank you. I'm having so much fun, too. I get to do this. And so before we get into the new and exciting things that are happening at Traveling Stories, Emily, can you give people like your elevator speech about what is Traveling Stories, where it comes from, where you are in San Diego?
Absolutely. I love telling people what Traveling Stories is. So we're a San Diego-based nonprofit, and our whole mission, we're just so passionate about getting kids excited about reading. And so our goal is to make reading fun and really to help reluctant readers fall in love with reading. Our program is primarily the StoryTent. It's a pop-up reading program that we do every weekend at different malls and different farmers markets. So right now you can find us every weekend at Parkway Plaza Mall in El Cajon, at City Heights Farmers Market, at the Vista Farmers Market, and then in the spring, we'll be back at the Imperial Beach Farmers Market. And so at the StoryTent, kids pick out books that they like. They read with a volunteer, a parent, or a peer. Mm-hmm. For every book they read, they earn book bucks, and then they use their fake money to buy prizes. And it's so much fun, Jose. You know, you've seen it.
Oh, yeah, no, I've been there, and I always make sure that I bring just a little bit of spending money so that I can also enjoy the things that happen at farmers markets. But certainly it's a joy to see the volunteers come in of all ages. I know you have a lot of young people and college students who are there listening to the young people come in and read. And you're bringing a kind of it's not a mentor, of course, but it is kind of that opportunity to interact, young people to interact maybe with an older person or a young adult who they might not have in their lives. Jake, as a StoryTent coordinator, you get to see this all the time. How do you feel about being in this position, and what do you see as the real value of being engaged with the tents?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I do. I get the luxury and the joy of being out there every single weekend, up in Vista and El Cajon. And yeah, I can't state enough how impactful the story tents actually can be for these kids. When they get there and you see just the big smiles on their faces, especially the regular readers, the ones coming back to the tent almost every single weekend, mm-hmm. They come to us like it's their second home. You know, they run in, they know everybody's names, they're getting ready to sign in, they know how the program works, and they're so happy to be back. One of the biggest bits of feedback that I get from parents almost every weekend is about how their kids throughout the week have been saying, like, hey, when is the story tent? When can we go back to the story tent? When is book time? So hearing things like that from the parents, it always reinforces our mission. That really is the biggest impact.
Yeah. Well, a lot of times, too, some things are one hit. And so a sure sign that they're a real hit is when people come back and look forward to being engaged. Emily, is it safe to say your headquarters is San Diego, but you're also doing some things internationally?
Yeah, that's safe to say, although most of our energy right now is staying directly focused on San Diego. But when I started the organization in 2010, originally our focus was international. So we do have partners, and we have libraries in El Salvador, Nicaragua, South Sudan, the Philippines, and Cambodia. And although those programs are now self-sufficient, we are, of course, on good terms, and we get to hear updates, and it's exciting to know that those communities have books because of that partnership we formed.
Yeah, and you've been to all these places, right? So you go in and you start these programs, and then you come back home.
Yeah, all of them except South Sudan. Unfortunately, there was too much violence going on, so I didn't get to go when it was active. But all of the other places I did get to visit. And, I mean, traveling stories, yes, our books travel and our program travels, but I love traveling too, and I love experiencing other cultures, and I love, I hope one day that we continue to do more international, because personally I love the excuse to go on more trips.
Right. Well, and here's the thing. I mean, we have enough challenges in our own communities here in San Diego getting to reluctant readers, as you've described them, and there's still access to books and such. But then you go to like other countries where there's food is an issue, shelter, clothing, and all that. Yeah. Talk about books, right? And you're happy to close that gap. I want to come back to Jake. I just want to tell you, Emily, and I'm going to say this again: you hire the best people. You really do. And so it's just a real pleasure to spend time with Jake the other day and learn about the.
He's awesome.
Oh, yeah, he is. So anyway, I just wanted to tell you that. I've never told you that before. But you've done something special. Tell us about something that you've done new to you that's also helping to get readers excited.
Yeah, absolutely.
Me or
Emily? I'm sorry, I probably confused things. Yeah, because I was talking. We're going to come back to you, Jake. Jake, hang on. We're going to come back to you.
No worries.
All right.
No, everyone at Traveling Stories is doing something cool to inspire kids. So we have to be specific.
But you've written a book, right?
Well, but thank you for thank you for asking.
Yeah.
So I've been a reader since I was a kid, and never wrote my own book until just recently. So I actually have written my first children's book, and it's all about the power of reading for enjoyment, and it takes place in Honduras, and it's bilingual, so it'll be in Spanish and English, and it just came out on Kickstarter yesterday, so I'm self-publishing, but it's available for pre-order through Kickstarter as of yesterday, so it's brand new.
Okay, all right, and you have your, there's two very important parts of writing a children's book. And one of them is the words, and the other part is the illustrations. You're not an illustrator. Who did your illustrations?
No, thank God it was not me. No one would want to pick up the book if I was doing the illustrations. Our illustrator is this incredible woman in Argentina named Nathalie Beauvoir, and I found her through Instagram, believe it or not. And she's published a lot of work with Scholastic and some other places. And if you go to our Traveling Stories social media, you can see some of the sneak peeks of the illustrations and her work, and it's so magical, and it's just amazing. And it's so neat too, having her influence being from Argentina. I feel like it really balances the story and kind of helps provide a different perspective, and so it's made the story even better, in my opinion.
And what inspired you to write a book? Was it because you wanted to contribute to the materials that are out there, or was something happening in your life? What made the book happen?
Yeah. Well, it's been a thought for a long time, and the book is loosely based on my experience as a teacher in Honduras, which led me to start Traveling Stories. So it's a story that I've told to many people, but mostly adult audiences, and I wanted to find a way and create a tool that would allow me to tell that story in a different way that would resonate with kids. So, So that's where I went. I mean, I took my story and I changed it and I made it more fun, and I put in an evil principal who hates reading and steals kids' books and throws them into this book graveyard, which wasn't true. My principal in Honduras was not that mean. And then I don't know. As I started working on it, it just got more and more fun and fulfilling to kind of have that creative outlet.
So you're describing it. Yeah, I love it. It's a bilingual picture book, so it is bilingual. That means there's words in it. And there's at least more than one language, and it's a picture book, and it says for kids ages 5 to 10. So a 5-year-old could read some of this?
Yeah, that's a good question. So I think a 4 to 5-year-old would enjoy having the story read to them, and they would be able to pick up some of the words. But it'll be a little bit harder for them. And then I think I've actually had some kids at the Story Tent read the rough draft of it without the illustrations, and it seems to be most popular with kids around 7 and 8 and 9 years old.
Very good. Well, we want everybody to know about this book, and we want everyone to buy the book, and I'm going to get the book, and you're going to autograph it.
Woo!
And
I will definitely autograph it.
And you have some promotional stuff coming out, usually there's a one-pager or something that talks about the book. Do you have something like that you want to get out there? Because we want to help you.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
I will get a one-pager out there. And then you know what the illustrator, Natalie, did? She created this coloring page based on one of the pages in the book. Mm-hmm. So we can make that available, too, as a PDF. And then, I don't know, if it's a de-stressor or if you have kids who like to color it, post it on social media, tag us. Yeah. We can see everyone's art.
Awesome. Okay, we're getting ready to go to break, and time flies fast on this show.
I know.
So we're going to come back with a little bit more about Traveling Stories, the book, and then also about I love this, the Compassionate Leadership Program. So you got really good stuff coming out of Traveling Stories, and some of it just, yes, it's in response to children and reading, but it's also really bringing us certain qualities that we need more of in our community. So thank you for that. We'll be right back with Emily and Jake. I'm Jose Cruz. You've been listening to the Literacy for All radio show on WS Radio, the worldwide leader in Internet talk.
Can you help a newborn baby in need? Sometimes the blessing of birth becomes complicated and perilous. Miracle Babies is there to help. Miracle Babies helps moms and dads give their all to their struggling little baby, but still need more. When you give to Miracle Babies, you help them give more. More skin-to-skin care, breast milk, and love. Go to miraclebabies.org and give right now. Be their miracle.
Looking to be a successful entrepreneur? The virtual assistant industry continues to be a top choice for those looking to start their own business. The problem can be how to become a virtual assistant. Many turn to the Bible of the VA industry, the book Virtual Assistant, the series, and it's the perfect guide for office managers, executive assistants, and other administrative professionals looking to make the transition from employee to successful business owner. Go to vatheseries.com to get your copy today.
Small businesses are the lifeblood of America's economy. Every Thursday, SBA Radio interviews industry professionals and is dedicated to provide small businesses with timely insights and innovations. Visit www.sbaradio.us for details.
Homeless veterans and their families are suffering and need our support, but many won't ask or don't know that help is within reach. Veterans Community Services is here to help. Amazingly, about 35% of the homeless in our neighborhoods are veterans with families. Low-income veterans or their friends are encouraged to contact Veterans Community Services and reach out for help with housing and other services. Call now, 800-974-9909.
I raised $8,000 to build schools for South African children. After realizing how many people go hungry in San Diego, I now volunteer at a food pantry.
I'm spending the next year doing volunteer projects across 3 countries and helping in ways they designate to be the most helpful.
The World Link program at the Joan B. Kroc Institute for Peace and Justice recognizes the potential of youth as agents of social change. Learn how you can help youth become a generation of leaders in action at peace.sandiego.edu.
Can you imagine a world without children? A world where children don't play, or dream, or imagine.
At St. Jude Children's Research Hospital, we're working every day to find cures for diseases that strike down children, because we can't imagine a world without children. Can you?
Finding cures, saving children. St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. To learn how you can help, log on to our website, stjude.org.
Donate cash, furniture, clothes, and other gently used household items to Father Joe's Villages and get a nice tax break in April. Every donation is tax deductible. Believe you can make a difference. Be Father Joe. Go to neighborhood.org or call 1-800-HOMELESS to donate today.
Talk to me. WSRadio.com.
The San Diego Council on Literacy brings you Literacy for All with your host, Jose Cruz.
Welcome back. I'm Jose Cruz from the San Diego Council on Literacy, and you're listening to the WS. Oh, you know what you're listening to is the Literacy for All radio show on WS Radio. We're talking to Emily Moberley and Jake Lory from Traveling Stories. Emily, is it my imagination? Is Christelle also writing a book?
Christelle is writing a book, and it's not out yet, but I cannot wait till it comes out. And I feel like everyone at Traveling Stories is just overflowing with creativity.
Right. Yeah, what's the environment?
That is true.
Yeah, absolutely. And then you go into if you ever get a chance, go into the Traveling Stories office out in Mission Valley, and it's just a fun place to be. Let's see. In terms of the book, are you looking forward to, this one, help fund Traveling Stories for one, and two, getting it out there just on a national scale? How are you feeling in terms of the quality and all that? Is this something that's really going to catch fire?
I mean,
you have to feel like it is.
I don't know. I hope so. I mean, I don't know if I'm going to be able to, I don't know if I'd even want to quit my day job and just be an author, but I don't know. I hope that everyone who gets it really loves it, and I hope that we're able to donate a bunch of copies to kids in schools here in San Diego, and hopefully kids all over the place. And, whatever people read, I'm a big supporter that you should read what you enjoy, and that's a really big theme in this book, Watch Out for Mr. B. The kids, need that freedom, and they fight for the freedom to be able to read what they enjoy and not just be stuck reading textbooks, no offense. And so I hope people love it and read it and share it and get more copies, but I feel like it's fulfilling to do it regardless. Well, at least my grandma's going to read it.
Oh, yeah. No, and I'm going to read it. A lot of people are going to read it. And I like the theme because it's actually something that's, I guess the word is topical, that we're having more and more conversations about creating literature that catches the interest of young people. And now that's common sense, but what we want kids to read, and yes, we're giving them textbooks. We're telling them what to read and not letting them pick their own books, and really maybe sheltering them too much from a world that they're actually already living in. And so they're looking for books that look more like the experiences that they're having, or characters that look more like the people they know. Right?
Yeah, I would say so. I think we all want what's best for kids, and sometimes we feel like maybe that means recommending the books that are whatever the most reputable or the most classic. But what I've found and what I believe strongly is that to get a kid hooked on reading, we need to allow them the freedom to read whatever it is that interests them, whether that be 50 million books about bugs or comic books or whatever it is. So that's the theme of my book.
Very good. Thanks for reinforcing that message. Really, really important. Okay, let's talk about, while we have time, let's talk about the Compassionate Leadership Program. Whose idea was this, and why is Jake doing this? You got the right guy, but how did all this come to pass? Why is compassion? Well, this is a dumb question. Why is compassion so important to Traveling Stories? Why are you doing this, Emily? And then Jake can talk about more about how he's prepping for his first group of students.
Yeah, well, you say who came up with the idea, and I think the real answer is the teenagers who volunteer at our story tent. They were kind of competing over volunteer slots because we got filled up because it's such a popular thing, and they were saying, hey, what else can Traveling Stories provide that we can get involved in? And so we wanted to put together this 6-month program specifically for teenagers. And, we looked at, hey, what do kids need to succeed and to get into college and whatever? And so we wanted to build a system for that. And then we started looking at teenagers struggle with anxiety and burnout and just so much pressure. So we were like, well, we don't want to add to that. How do we build in a component that's different that can actually equip students to manage stress And so what we found was a really good partnership with Compassion It, a local nonprofit that teaches people how to have compassion for themselves and for others. And I think it's so needed. I've benefited from the compassion classes just to manage burnout and stress.
Very
and I
good.
think that's, yeah.
So Jake, how did you come to be the coordinator for this? How does this new adventure connect with what you've done in the past, or with your being attracted to traveling stories?
Yeah, well, it definitely grew, just like Emily said, kind of directly out of the StoryTent and that environment for the volunteers. Over the past year, we've just had such a big influx of like high school aged volunteers. So young teens all the way up to 18, and they come to the StoryTent sometimes for the first time, and it's some of their first times getting the chance to be a leader, getting the chance to be a mentor to younger kids, their first position as a teacher. And what I grew to observe and discuss with them as a coordinator out at the StoryTent was just really how mutually beneficial that is, both for the teenagers volunteering and for the younger kids, because they just look up to them so much, and the impact there is so palpable. So really from there, observing that dynamic and the growth of it, we started to build this program out because it just seemed like such a natural progression of our mission and what we're trying to do. We want to connect communities with community. We want that empowerment to be happening internally. So to be able to bring youth in to empower younger youth was just the perfect opportunity for us. So we started to build out this compassionate leadership model so that we could not only provide like a lot of very essential professional development for these high school age students, but also ground that in social emotional learning to really tackle those bigger questions of why is compassion important in our leadership, and what does our leadership like sacrifice if we're not being compassionate. So that is where it started, and we're very excited to get the ball rolling and get our first group of students in the door.
I love it. I mean, and leadership is by itself a topic, and how to lead and how to share leadership, and how to be, well, even using the word boss. I don't like to say I'm the boss. You know, you're right. right. And that's just not conducive to team building. And so, what as I'm listening to this, I mean, golly, I guess I'm not a teenager anymore, but it's just so.
You can join.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I mean, just reinforcing compassion and reinforcing leadership skills. I mean, that's something that connects to those of us who have been doing, work in the nonprofit arena for decades. So it's a great thing. But so having said that, some people would say, well, our teenagers ready for this kind of a commitment and these topics of compassion and a running program. I mean, we know that they have it, but as a topic, are we? And I think I know the answer to the question, but are we underestimating them in terms of their interests and in their interest in growing as contributing members of society and their community? So,
yeah, I would definitely agree that we are and generally do underestimate their capacity for that understanding and just that conversation in general. I think the majority of high schoolers actually think about those things quite a lot, because everybody, no matter what age you are, like, you're engaged with compassion or lack of compassion throughout your whole life. And it's just a matter, and that's what these compassion seminars are really going to be rooted in. It's about like bringing awareness and bringing terminology to some of those social emotional aspects of experience and living as a human. Like, once we have a better set of terminology and understanding to be able to recognize what a compassionate attitude means or what a compassionate action looks like towards others and also to ourselves, then we become a lot better at practicing compassion. And I think that's also one of the big points here, is that compassion is a practice. So because of that, like, we know that it's something that we can improve on, we can get better at. And like, if we as, young high school students start to embed those practices in our everyday lives, then think 2 years, 4 years down the line, once they graduate from college and they're in their new careers, these are skills that they're going to be able to carry with them all the way into their futures, because that's the real purpose of it, is to practice it every day. It's not just it's not just like a cheat answer for their next quiz. It's a practice, and that's what we're going to do within our compassion seminars, as well as our actual professional development workshops, where they get to really engage with the behind the scenes of nonprofits and kind of put that model of compassionate leadership to the test with real time, real work experience and projects to complete. So it's going to be a very well-rounded program with a lot of conversation, but also a lot of chance to do it.
You love it, Jake. I love your passion. We have about 50 seconds left, so I wanted to get back to, and I'm already learning from you, Jake, so this is exciting. I want to get back to a new author, Emily Moberley, and just anything you want to say, you can add that to your resume, but anything you want to say as we're signing off, how people can get in touch with Traveling Stories. To have about 30 seconds, famous last words from the founder.
I just want to say that we want to hear from you. If you are a teenager, a high school student, apply to this Compassionate Leadership Program. You can get more details about it on our website, travelingstories.org. Shoot me an email if you have questions about that or the book, Emily@travelingstories.org. And go on Kickstarter and pre-order a copy of Watch Out for Mr. B.
Excellent. Congratulations to you, Jake, for the work that you're doing, Emily, and to your team.
Thank you.
We need more of you. God bless you. And like I say, you're the first crew that's ever been on 3 times. We're going to have you back. See you. Take good care. Thank you. You've been listening to the Literacy for All radio show on WS Radio, the worldwide leader in Internet talk.
Nowadays, internet devices are an integral part of your home. Everyone in your family has a smartphone, tablet, or a computer. Life is easier knowing that all your devices are secured and your family can surf the internet carefree. ESET Multi-Device Security Pack does just that. One license for all your devices. With ESET, it's simple to stay protected and save money. Enjoy safer technology with ESET Multi-Device Security Pack at ESET.com. That's ESET.com.
On the internet, your business's reputation can be unjustly destroyed in an instant. Don't wait for that to happen. Building and marketing your 5-star reputation can increase your business by as much as 19%. Take control of your reputation and have the 5-star reputation you deserve with Reputation Marketing Solutions by DSI Development. Become the go-to company by visiting 5starrepmarketing.com. The number 5starrepmarketing.com.
Hey, it's Catherine from Listen Local Radio. Moe's Guitars has proudly served the San Diego music community since 1975. Specializing in guitars, basses, mandolins, banjos, and ukuleles, they buy, sell, trade, and consign. If you're looking for lessons, repairs, accessories, and cool gear, you found the right place. Located in downtown La Mesa Village, stop by and check out their digs or visit moesguitars.com or their Facebook page. mozeguitars.com, 619-698-1185.
Tired of presentations with no impact, no inspiration, and no traction? Do dull speakers have you and your team disengaged and distracted by smartphones? Christopher McCullough brings energy, insights, and 2 decades of experience, delivered with punch, humor, and heart. Your team will leave energized, uplifted, and with a sense of purpose. Visit ChristopherMcCullough.com to bring some heat to your next speaking engagement. McCulloughe. ChristopherMcCullough.com. Nowadays, internet devices are an integral part of your home. Everyone in your family has a smartphone, tablet, or a computer. Life is easier knowing that all your devices are secured and your family can surf the internet carefree. ESET Multi-Device Security Pack does just that. One license for all your devices. With ESET, it's simple to stay protected and save money. Enjoy safer technology with ESET Multi-Device Security Pack at ESET.com. That's ESET.com.
Tired of presentations with no impact, no inspiration, and no traction? Do dull speakers have you and your team disengaged and distracted by smartphones? Christopher McCullough brings energy, insights, and 2 decades of experience, delivered with punch, humor, and heart. Your team will leave energized, uplifted, and with a sense of purpose. Visit ChristopherMcCullough.com to bring some heat to your next speaking engagement. MCAULIFFE. ChristopherMcCullough.com.